Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome to the French Seams. Thank you very much for joining me for this week's Friday Sews video, where I get to chat to you all about what I've been sewing and crocheting this week. So as always, a huge thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for coming up with that fabulous hashtag. So I hope you all had a good week. It was a very good week here in the French Seams household. On the crafting front, it was quite a productive week, which is very, very good. I always do enjoy those weeks. So shall we get started straight away? So I'll let you know what I'm wearing. In the background, I am also putting together a kind of what I'm wearing during the really cold weather vlog. That's a working title. I haven't really come up with what I'm going to call it, but basically I've been showing what I've been wearing over the past few days and how they're styled for colder weather. So that'll be coming to you sometime soon. So in honour of that today, and because it's still cold and grey and miserable, I am wearing a lovely Raglan sweatshirt. And I made this maybe 2 years ago, I think. It's a Maison Fauve pattern, and it's in this beautiful fabric that I got from Crafty Studio. So both the lovely sweatshirting and this incredible glittery ribbing as well. So it's got the lovely ribbing at the neckline with these beautiful darts. You can just about see them here. It's a lovely Raglan sleeve, and then it's got a front pocket. And of course, it's got these really, really great style lines at the side where you can see the difference in the ribbing, which is really nice with a label. So I love wearing this. I now have 2 Raglan sweatshirts, I think, but they're just perfect for today, and obviously thermal vest underneath. So that is what I'm wearing today. So shall we dive straight into what the week was like as regards crafting and sewing? So shall we start, as always, with a little crochet update. So I am now in week 5 of the Blossoms and Buds Serdar crochet along. Week 1 to 4 went so quickly. I went so quickly through those weeks. It was quite straightforward patterns. Once you got the pattern in your head, you could just keep on going. This week, we've slowed down ever so slightly because it is now tapestry crochet, which does take quite a long time. My tension was all off. For some reason, I forgot how to be able to count up to 5. So there was a little bit of a bumpy start to it. So I finished one of the panels now, and I just have the one long strip down the side to do as well. And that's week 5 done. But we got there in the end. So I shall show you what we looked like. So here is the blanket, and these are the ones that I finished off last week, the little kind of popcorny flowers, which are lovely. And then this week I've been working on this panel here. So it looks quite nice from far away, but trust me, up close it's a little bit dodgy. The tension is all off. I couldn't get the white to kind of follow along here, so I ended up not realizing how slack the white was, so actually having to pull it across. So it was a bit strange. By here I kind of got the hang of it, so hopefully the next panel will go smoother. But it came out quite pretty. I love these little daisies. So you're in this lemon color and you carry the white all the way across, and then for these kind of mustardy bits in the middle, you do just have to have a tiny bit there that you just kind of work in. But yeah, it's a really, really pretty pattern. So that goes all the way across. So now I just have to do one, I think, is it all the way along one of these sides, which is going to be quite big. But yeah, very, very happy with how that came out in the end. So tapestry crochet is quite a bit trickier than just regular crochet, but I did do an awful lot of it in the Halloween blanket, the big panel in the middle that said trick or treat. That was all tapestry crochet. So, and that was my first adventure into tapestry crochet. Tapestry crochet, by the way, is when you basically carry your yarns all the way across. So this is effectively 2 yarns. So you sew your lemon here, and then you bring in your white, and then you carry that, and then you carry the white all the way across here. That's a terrible explanation. I do apologise. Basically, you don't drop and pick up threads, you carry them all the way across. So it does have quite kind of a slightly different texture. It's a little bit thicker rather than these ones, which were a little bit floppier. So that is where I'm at with this, and I am loving it. Absolutely loving it. So just one more big panel of this, but hopefully now I've got the handle of it, and then it's just the border. So week 6, and the border goes all the way around. There are funny little pom-poms on one side of the border. Not sure will I do those, but it's a lovely kind of striped border all the way along the outside. Again, pop-up picture of what it should look like here. But yes, absolutely delighted with this blanket, and working on it last night, and I had it on my lap and it was just lovely. The colours are just joyous. They really, really are. So that is my crochet update. Have I been doing a little bit of sewing? Yes, I've been doing quite a bit of sewing this week, and it makes me very, very happy. So I made 3 adventure Raglan sweatshirts. So I think I'd shown this fabric a little while ago, and it is from my wonderful friend Melanie Keane. A number of months ago she reached out and said, I have this fabric, would you like it for your little boys? And I said yes, absolutely. So she very kindly gifted me that fabric. It was passed from Sewwha to Sewwha and eventually made it to me, I think through the lovely Tanya, Just Let Me Sew. So thank you, Tanya, for your involvement in getting this fabric to me. And I'm so delighted I finally got to make it up. So I had mentioned that I had cut out 2 sweatshirts for older French seams and baby French seams, and then I realised that I would have a little bit left in that fabric to make a sweatshirt for my lovely baby nephew. He's not really a baby anymore, but I still call him my baby nephew. So I have made 3 Adventure Raglan sweatshirts. This is the Waves and Wild pattern. It's a fantastic Raglan pattern. I use it all the time. It's so straightforward, comes together so quickly, even printing it out in various sizes, not that many pages. Love this pattern. So I shall start with my baby nephew's one. My sister is aware of this, it's not a huge surprise. So this is his one. So as you can see, it's lovely Raglan sleeves and it's just gorgeous. It's the cutest. So basically all of them are completely identical apart from a few differences which you might be able to tell. So did I bind the necklines on all of these? Yes, because I love doing it, and it's all Specky Seamstress binding. So Older French Seams has this one which says sewing is my superpower. It has a little scissors there. I have a tutorial on my vlog about how to do this. I'll link it down below. So he gets sewing is my superpower, and he gets a label that says made by Mum, Isn't She Clever, from Cozy Club. Oh, I should say they all have the thumbs up cuffs as well, which they love. Hoping my baby nephew likes them too. He's not had one like that from me yet. So they all have those, which is a free Waves and Wild pattern. So Older French Seams one, pop that over here. Baby French Seams ones gets Cute as a Button, which is adorable, and then his label says made by Mummy, and that's a Little Rosy Cheeks one. I need to restock on all of these, so Stitch Festival incoming. And then from my baby nephew, he gets the cutest little rubber duckies, and his label says made by Auntie, which is Little Rosy Cheeks as well. So they came out so well. So they haven't worn those yet because I wanted to show you them in their pristine white state, not after they've got their grubby little mitts on beautiful white cuffs. So thank you so much, Mel. That was very kind of you to think of me with that beautiful fabric, and it is gorgeous. It's a beautiful fleece back sweatshirting and it was beautiful to work with. So thank you very much. So I got all of those batch sewn this week, just whizzed to them on the overlocker. It was wonderful, got them all done. So what else have I been sewing? I finished my Carolyn pyjamas. So, and I'm very excited to show you them. So, oh, tangled up in my crochet. So these are the finished Carolyn pyjamas, and I'm very happy with them and cannot wait to wear them. So I think a number of vloggers do this, that I don't like to wear stuff until I've shown you them in their perfect state, but I have tried them on and the fit is spot on. I love them. So this is the top that I gave you a glimpse of last week. I just had a few little bits and pieces to tidy up. So the collar doesn't look too bad. If you watched last week, I wasn't overly thrilled with the construction of the collar, but it doesn't look too bad in the end. I did redo the top stitching on the collar because it was very dodgy, and I think it looks a little bit better now. So it's got the lovely placket and the revere, then the lovely sleeves and the cuffs, which I think came out beautifully. The only things I'd left to do last week, I think, were to add on the buttons. So I did that, and I put on these beautiful Jazz and Wow buttons. Absolutely love them, from the lovely Bex. I'll link her lovely shop below. I've got my lovely Early Night Club label from Little Rosy Cheeks. So I bought that last year, I think. There's 2 styles in this pack. So this one says Early Night Club, which is very ironic because I finished these at about 11 p.m. And then the other one in that pack says Night Night Sleep Tight, and they're the cutest labels. They're just lovely. Then I did finish the hem. So how can I show you the hem? I'll pop this up. So I then bound all the hem in this beautiful binding, this lovely flowery binding from my lovely friends Sam and Catherine, and I think it gives a lovely finish for the, how can we show you? There we go. A lovely finish of the curved hemline. I think that's absolutely gorgeous. And then for the trousers, I did show you these last week. So they are just like this. So lovely trousers with my little ribbon, and then I popped on this little label and it says Sew, Eat, Sleep, Retreat, and that again is from my lovely friend Tanya, because these would be perfect to take away to a retreat, wouldn't they? They'd be absolutely gorgeous. So they are my Carolyn pyjamas. So I made a size 10 at the top, grading to a 12 at the waist, and then a 14 at the hips. So that means that the trousers are a size 14. I think I misled you ever so slightly in how much I added last week. So I think I added 1.5 inches to the legs and I added 1 inch to the sleeves. So apologies if I got that mixed up last week, but for both I definitely had to add length. And then I did actually remove about 1 inch from the top that came up very, very long. So these are my finished Carolyn pyjamas. I know lots of you were keen to see them. So I think it's a lovely, lovely pattern. The only thing, I'm not hugely keen on the construction of the collar, but that's just personal preference. But it does come together very, very nicely. I think it's such a smart pattern, really, really nice. I didn't do the piping. Maybe next time, we shall see, but I will definitely revisit this pattern. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And as I mentioned last week, the shorty version for summer would be lovely. So they are my Carolyns. And I should mention that this Tula Pink fabric I got from Rainbow Fabrics. So I'll link my discount code down below. So that was that bit of sewing. My next bit of sewing is a work in progress, and it is my lovely bag. So this is quite a labour intensive pattern. There's an awful lot of pieces to it, an awful lot of construction, but I just got in the zone and I loved making it. So this is the Core Threads Zina bag, popping a picture here. That is the same pattern designer as this bag here, and I love how her patterns are put together. I think they are so clear. All the cutting instructions, all the picture instructions, all the written instructions, I think they're so clear. So there is quite a few steps. Obviously it's quite a intricate bag, but I think the way she does the patterns are just fantastic. This is now my third one of her patterns. Love them. The fabric is from my wonderful friend Orla. She has the fabric shop Sewwha. I'll link it down below. So I got the lovely faux leather from her, and also the bonded nylon lining, and then all the hardware I got from the lovely Sarah at the Little Sewing Tree. So again, I'll link everything down below. So as I mentioned, it's quite an intense make, quite labour intensive, lots of pieces. I got everything laid out, everything, all the stabilizer, but I love the kind of the intricacy and the structure of that. That really makes my brain happy. But I was laughing to myself because this is quite an intense make, as I said, and my boys are going through a kind of let's tell a joke phase, and their favourite one so far is why is camping an extreme sport? Because it's intense. Anyway, enough about that. I just think that's pretty funny. So this is how I've got on with my bag, and I am loving how it looks so far. So I've got all my little ends to fix and everything, and ignore the dodgy top stitching because I was doing this late at night. It's black fabric with black thread. Go figure. So hopefully over the weekend I'll get some sewing done in daylight, which will make a huge difference. So this, what shall I show you first? So the first thing you do is the strap. So I've been talking about it and I haven't even shown it to you. This is the strap. So because it's just a shoulder strap, you can do the crossbody strap, but I don't think I'll need that for this pattern. So this is the strap, and then it's got the lovely lobster clasps at either end. Then what I've done is I've done the 2 lining pieces and the 2 outer pieces. What's left is the sides and the base, and then it's just putting them all together. So this is one of the inside linings, and this I put on a little handmade label here, little rosy cheeks, and this is my little welt pocket here, so that goes into a little pocket. This is where the construction comes into play, because this is how you turn it out later through the welt pocket here, which is so super clever. So that's my little pocket there, and then that's the inside of the bag. Then the outside I've got a clip to. This is going to be the back of the bag, and this has got a little magnetic snap, so you've got your lining in here as well. So putting in a magnetic snap was pretty good fun, so I think that looks pretty smart for the outside. Then the other inside of the bag is this side, and this has 2 little slip pockets, so one to fit my phone, one to fit something slightly bigger. The way I've stopped here is that I just want to show you, do I have them here? Yes. So I have my little pack of rivets, apologies, they're not frogs, and I use my Prim tool. It's not perfect, that's more for snaps. So I have ordered a little hole punch tool because I need to do rivets here, and it's just too tricky to try and poke holes through these. So I've ordered a hole punch, which I can then punch a hole, and then putting in rivets will be much easier. So that's why progress is slightly stopped here. But this is the inside, and then the bit that I love, this is the outside. How pretty does this look? And I put on my little bow, which I just love. So a little bow there. This is the outside. And then I was always curious about the construction of this. This is the little zip here that's kind of slightly recessed in here. And then so this is then another front pocket, which I think is just lovely. I think the construction is so nice in this, and it is slightly different to this one. The construction, there are some elements that are the same in that the welt pockets and the slip pockets on the inside. However, that has that nice flap over at the front, and I think this little pocket here is just lovely. As I say, yeah, I was, ever since looking at this, the picture of this, I've been curious as to how that pocket goes. So as you can see, it's covered in markings, covered in basting threads, all that good stuff, but it is a work in progress, and I'm hoping to get that done over the next week or so, hopefully. She says hopefully. So that was my sewing the bag, which I'm really, really enjoying. This fabric is just lovely. My lovely bonded nylon lining, the lovely hearts, I think is really pretty, and it matches perfectly on the outside. So yeah, I just love how these bags come together. Everything is, she tells you in this section, you'll need this, this and this, and then you just gather all those pieces. You've got them next to you and you do them. There's all the marking, all the lines. I do get an awful lot of questions about how these bags are to put together. So if you have, what you need for these bags definitely is things like a quilting ruler for accurate cutting. You need double-sided tape is an absolute must, especially with the faux leather, to be able to stick things on, and the bonded nylon, because obviously you can't use pins. Good marking tools, a nice little iron for doing your attaching your stabilizer, a pressing cloth. What I use also is a 1/4 inch foot, which is really, really useful as well. So they're the kind of things you need for making these bags, but I really, really enjoy making them. I think they're such satisfying makes. So stay tuned for when that bag is done. So I think I should leave it there for now. That's what I wanted to catch you up on this week. As regards plans, definitely get that bag finished. And then I also would love to start thinking about the things I would like to wear and to bring to Stitch Festival, because it's not that far away. And I gave myself a fright the other day when I saw that it's almost the start of March, which is just nuts. So I'll leave it there for now. Thank you very, very much for joining me. If you'd like to ask a question on anything I've mentioned here, please feel free to drop me a comment in the comment box below. And if you like this video, I would very much love it if you give me a thumbs up, and also please consider subscribing, which means you'll just be notified when I next release a video. And I will catch you all again very, very soon in another video. Have a wonderful week, folks, and see you soon. Bye.